Hi friends! Today I want to try and finish my Volvo 340 project. For those of you that haven't watched my previous videos, I've rebuilt the engine from this car because my piston rings were bad. And last week I installed the engine back into the car. And today I want to try and get this car running again. And I'm going to start by installing all the parts on the underside of the car. Let me just show you my engine bay real quick. Since it was already really dark outside when I filmed my last video, I think it looks really clean with the freshly painted engine and all the newly painted parts. I'm going to start by reinstalling my drive shaft. Excuse me for the lack of light right here, but I can't really do any better under the car. Now I gotta turn it 180 degrees so I can reach the bolt on the back side of the drive shaft. Alright, that's it for the drive shaft. Now I'm going to put my exhaust back in place. And now let's connect the clutch cable. I almost forgot the bolts from my engine mount because I didn't install them last week because it was dark and I didn't want to work under the car. Not very smart, but I just found the bolts, so let's connect those as well. And to the people that told me to pull instead of push, thanks a lot. It's way easier to tighten bolts that way. Now that I'm under the car, I might as well connect this ground wire that's connected to the engine block, but I'm going to sand the surface a bit first. By the way, I also got this new gasket for my exhaust, which I'm going to install now. It will be a bit hard to film, but then you know what I'm doing. Look at that. Okay, so I've connected this bolt and the other ones are on top of the exhaust. So I think I'm done connecting everything on the underside of the car. So now let's lower the lift and then work in the engine bay. I almost forgot, but I still gotta measure my valve clearance and I just got the tool to do so. So now I'm going to remove my valve cover again real quick so you can measure the clearance. I totally forgot to mention it, but I'm adjusting the valve clearance of the inlet valves to 0.15 and the outlet valves to 0.20. After the first drive, I'm going to torque the cylinder head bolts again and then I'll adjust the valve clearance once more as well. Now that my valve cover is still off, I turned the crankshaft until cylinder 1's at top dead center so I can install my ignition. Well, this is in just to close that hole, but it isn't installed properly. But I'm going to install the valve cover now and then we'll do the ignition. Now let's properly install the ignition. And that's in place. There's only a couple more parts left to install. I'm now connecting the hose for my power pulse system, and then I think I'm going to connect the big coolant hoses. I also replaced this hose with a new one, but I forgot to turn on my camera. But yeah, there it is. Now let's fill up the coolant so we can see if it leaks or anything. Well, it doesn't seem to leak, so now I'm going to install and connect my alternator. It's a bit hard to film, but I'm connecting my starter motor. Now let's fill up the engine oil, and then I'm going to start it without the spark plugs in, so it can get some oil pressure first. Now let's install the spark plugs and see if it actually wants to start. It does have oil pressure, so that's good. Alright, the moment of truth. I'm going to try and start it. I'm super happy because it's finally running and it sounds really good. I'm not going to test drive it today because I don't like to test drive when it's dark. So I'll get back to you tomorrow and go for a test drive. It is now the next day, which means I'm going to go for a test drive. I did check the oil level and the coolant level and both are fine. So yeah, let's fire up the car. Feels so weird to be driving this car again. I'm not going to drive too far because I don't have a hood on, which is illegal, I think. But just gonna test drive it, right? Alright, I'm back. It seems to be running fine. Like I said, I can't drive too far because I don't have a hood. And I still got to change my wheels and everything. So that's it for now. So this is the current mileage of the car. It's at 254,918 kilometers. I'm going to drive it for 1,000 kilometers to test the car. And yeah, I think I'll get back to you and give you some updates on how it's doing. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!